Hugh, thank you very much indeed. Hello, good evening. Here we are in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire, and time for the late look north. Asylum seekers should be housed in cities and not in Skegness hotels, according to the town's MP. We'll hear from Matt Warman in a moment, who confirms that 5 hotels are being taken over. But first, Joe Makel heard reaction in Skegness.
I think people are scared, really. They're scared of the fact that people are going to be coming here and not have the support and the infrastructure and the things that, you know, vulnerable people that will be staying in these hotels need.
The town obviously copes when you have thousands of extra people here in the summer. Will a few hundred over the winter, does that really make a difference?
Skegness does cope. It's a bustling seaside town and thousands, millions of people come every year. However, they're here for a few days. They don't need the support that people that were living here on a more permanent basis will need.
It's bound to have some effect, especially on doctor surgeries and places like that.
They come in and they keep themselves to themselves and they get sorted out quickly. There shouldn't be a problem.
The people is not harming the people. They're quite innocent people. They just come in to find a shelter, is save his life from the death.
No, they've got to go somewhere, but I don't really know what the solution is, I'll be honest with you.
We understand there are 3 hotels in Skegness currently being used to house asylum seekers, and negotiations for another 2. The leader of East Lindsey District Council has written to the Immigration Minister to express his concern about the pressure on local services and the lack of notice from the Home Office.
Mr Warman, just briefly, did the Home Office tell you that these hotels were going to be used for asylum seekers in advance?
Yes, they did, but only by, in one case, a matter of hours, and in the other, a matter of days. So I didn't get a huge amount of notice, and annoyingly, nor did local authorities either. And that's one of the problems with this new situation. OK,
let me ask you, do you know how many hotels in Skegness are being used at the moment?
Well, currently there are 5 hotels being used in Skegness. That's up from 3 last week.
Are you worried that Skegness is becoming a camp for asylum seekers now?
Well, I'm worried that there is an unfair burden being put on Skegness. Obviously, if the Home Office is going to use hotels, it's right that that burden is shared fairly across the country, so that people have got the resources that they need, and so that it doesn't disrupt community. That's what I need the immigration.
Where is the right place? David Davis doesn't want them in North Ferriby. You don't want them in Lincolnshire. You know, where is the right place for you?
Well, I think the right place, and actually there is broad agreement that the right place is in areas where there is access to the resources, access to interpreter facilities, all that, and that tends to be the larger cities.
Skegness MP Matt Warman talking to me earlier. Well, the government says with record numbers of people arriving in the UK, it'll need to use more hotels. A coroner has concluded that a man from North Lincolnshire, who was the first known British casualty of the war in Ukraine, died in a drone attack. 36-year-old Scott Sibley from South Killingholme was formerly in the British Army. He joined Ukrainians to fight Russian forces early in the war. A £6 billion plan is being proposed to stop the taps running dry in Lincolnshire. It includes a huge reservoir near to Sleaford. But as our environment correspondent Paul Murphy reports, that is controversial.
It's been another year of often chaotic weather. Too much rain when we don't need it, too little when we do. Drought coupled with record-breaking temperatures. It's increasingly putting water supplies under pressure.
So we are now in the grip of climate change, and it's only going to get worse. But actually a bigger driver of our plan is the need to return water to the environment, because we've seen rivers starting to run dry. We know that rivers are over-abstracted. We're also taking too much water from groundwater sources.
So it's time for a long-term plan.
And central to this new strategy is the creation of 2 new reservoirs, one in Cambridgeshire and one on this area of land near to Sleaford in Lincolnshire, where 5 square kilometres of this community will be flooded.
We are determined to bring environmental and social prosperity.
The vast new reservoir near Sleaford will include floating solar panels and new wildlife habitat.
Stand out.
But the project will also have a human impact, as homes and businesses are bulldozed to make way for water.
It's devastating my whole world. It is my business, my future, my children's future, everything. And I'm just sitting here waiting for them to go through their protocol and procedures and then decide when they're going to take off us or what they're going to do. And it's just horrible. We're just left in limbo.
Unless you have these major reservoir projects, something has to give. You can't have a growing economy. You can't have thriving food production.
There are some difficult choices ahead for Lincolnshire, but there are warnings that water shortages will become more frequent, more extreme, unless those big decisions are taken now. Paul Murphy, BBC Look North, Sleaford.
Good boy, Snip.
Now finally tonight, let's get the weather forecast for Wednesday. It comes tonight from Keely Donovan.
Hello there, good evening. After a soggy day today, you'll be pleased to know much drier and brighter conditions to come through tomorrow. The odd shower, but for most places it will be dry and settled. And so will overnight tonight. Dry with clear spells, perhaps a little patchy mist or fog, and it will be relatively cool compared with recent nights, temperatures dropping back to around 4 or 5 degrees in a few spots. So tomorrow looks like a better day. There will be some areas of cloud, but the cloud will be broken to allow some bright or sunny spells. A few light afternoon showers, but for most places it will be dry for most of the day. It won't be as windy as today, and temperatures will lift to 10 or 11 degrees. The rain will return into Thursday. Friday looks dry and fine with some sunshine, a widespread frost, a crisp day, but a fine day on Saturday.
Good news about Saturday, and that's it from us tonight. Thank you for watching. We're back tomorrow, of course, through the day. I'll see you tomorrow night as usual, 6:30. Take care. Good night.